So a student came into the middle school office this morning, and Miss Tara was out there, greeted them, and they said, "My laptop's been stolen." And so Tara talked to them, worked through where they last had it, made a little plan for them to go and look there, and the student sort of sheepishly came back about 10 minutes later with their laptop that they'd forgotten the night before in their after-school activity. And there's a really common thing that happens in middle school. Kids forget something and they jump to this, "my thing has been stolen." And 98% of the time, they just forgot it somewhere. But there is that 2% of the time where sometimes something does go missing and it is stolen. And so in those cases, we work with a student to find it and figure out who took it, have a consequence for them, do something to sort of repair that relationship and communicate with families, figure it out. It makes me think a little bit about Singapore government, where they talk about like Singapore is a low crime country, but it doesn't mean there's no crime. And I was thinking about this week as we had two assemblies from Prevention Ed, who is here working with high school and middle school students, parent coffee in person Wednesday and a virtual one Wednesday night, which you can actually watch in eNews, probably somewhere below me, or maybe it's this way, I'm not sure. But Prevention Ed worked with our kids around substance misuse and gave them some really good data and information about how the body responds to substances, and in middle school focused primarily on vaping. It's something that's very relevant right now because the Singapore government's really clamping down on it. And through that discussion, kids were given some information about vaping, how it works on their body, the way they're being manipulated by companies. And it was a really good assembly. The kids were given homework in that assembly. They were told to go home to their parents and ask about history of addiction in their family, because that's one of the factors that can influence whether or not you become addicted. And I think as a parent watching the two assemblies and at the coffee, it was a good reminder to me that just like the Singapore government says low crime doesn't mean no crime, just because Singapore is a very safe country and there's really limited access to substances for our kids, it doesn't mean there's no access. It doesn't mean that if they don't want to find vapes or get access to alcohol that they can't. And so I think it was a good reminder to, even though it may be unlikely, it's still something we need to think about. So my nudge for the weekend is to watch. If you didn't get to attend one of the coffees, watch the recording. Super interesting. I learned things. And I think I know a lot. And then have that conversation with your kids. And you can ask them about the assembly that they saw, what they learned, what they took away, and have that conversation as a family. The more we talk about these things and create safe spaces for our kids to talk about them, the more comfortable they're going to be coming to you when they are confronted with temptation, whether that's in middle school or high school or beyond.